Welcome to season 3 of the Backyard Blitz. I'm Brandon Peebler. Follow me at the Peebs22. We got Andrew Daley in the house. Follow him at Coach Daley12 and Ricky Simmons. Follow him at rsimmons2715. Boys, how excited are you for this season, man? I cannot wait to get this started.
Brandon, what's up, man? What's up, Ricky? How you doing, man? It's good to see
you
guys
Drew?
again.
Same to you.
Good to see you guys. It's been a while since our days out in Germany, so it's going to be fun to catch up with you guys, talk some football, and share some laughs, share some insight, and I'm really looking forward to it, man. I'm glad to be a part of it.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. This is pretty new to me. Like you just said, Drew, I'm excited. I'm just anxious to see how far this can go and where we could take it.
Sure.
Man, you got the bass in your voice, Ricky, so it's going to go far. You already got it for the microphone, bro. You don't have to worry about that. But it has been a while. So Ricky, me and you, it's been 12 years since we played together out there.
I believe so.
Yeah, Drew, it's been 10 because we played
10 or 11, man.
Yeah.
I keep seeing the Facebook notifications pop up, and it puts it into perspective because it doesn't feel that long ago, man, that we were out there playing, and it's pretty crazy to see how fast time goes. So
it goes really fast. What's really cool, and one of those things, right? We get to stay. We stayed in contact this entire time, like messaging back and forth here and there. Sometimes we'll be quiet. Sometimes we'll talk about certain stuff. But I think it's cool. We get to be on a show together after being teammates after 10 plus years. I don't care what you say. That's pretty damn special.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, we just get to come together again and just talk about football and old times and just share our thoughts and opinions on things.
Yeah, and me and Ricky had never played together either. So, but I knew who he was. Obviously, we all played for the same team at some point. So, obviously, knowing him through the grapevine and being able to get to know him more over this process and stuff like that. So, I just remember BP, like first time I met you in Germany, we were like, this guy works out too much for me, man. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep up with this guy.
He definitely was a workaholic. Definitely was a gym rat.
Oh yeah,
I definitely give him that.
I remember
probably should have spent a little more time in the gym, less time in the bar. But that's conversations for another day, I guess.
I remember getting mad at Love. Love would be sitting over there. I'd be like, Love, we're gonna go hit the gym. He'd go, oh shoot, no, I don't know about today.
Yeah, he definitely did.
He was the only guy.
Shout out to Big Love.
Oh, bro! Shout out
to a lot of them Griffin guys, man. Like
yeah,
Kufel, like I still keep in touch with Kufel. Like, dude, he came over a couple years ago, man, when I was coaching in high school, and he came over and on a vacation and came out to one of my high school games, and we went out to dinner afterwards and stuff like that. So, like, when you talk about football being a brotherhood, like, dude, here we are 10, 11 years later. I got guys coming to visit me from Germany, like overseas. Like, it's crazy, the bonds that you form and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, it's unbreakable too. Like, I always talk about that, where it's so different, the bonds that you form on the field, because I feel like you really know somebody playing football. Like, if they got your back, the type of person they are just from playing. So it's different when you get in the real world, and then you work with people and you don't know. Sometimes that's always think my closest friends always been, my brothers I played football with. But, man, when Kufel came to visit you, I got to know, did he yell at you about any sort of like stuff that you're doing? You got to get those special teams shots.
So I think the game that he came to, man, we probably lost like 48-2 or something. It wasn't a good game, but no, he was amazed at, and this is a high school game, and it wasn't anything crazy, just amazed at the facilities and the organization. That was one thing that stood out to me. Like, he would be like, I couldn't believe how organized your warm-ups were. I couldn't believe how organized your drills, like stuff like that, like that you take kind of for granted when you go overseas to play, unless you're playing at like a really high level, stuff like that. So, it was just cool to be able to see him, and for me to mean enough to him to make a visit to see me on his vacation. It was pretty cool. So
that's what's up for real.
Yeah,
shout out to the Griffin guys, man.
Yeah.
where I stop.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know that there's going to be a few guys that listen when they wake up. It's a little early for them now. I think it's like 3:00 in the morning or something, but they do it on Sundays. Wake up, man. We're on air. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
So it's been 10 years. You guys have been staying in touch with the game. Drew, I know that you coached for a while. Ricky, I know that you do a lot of stuff with kids. Let's start off with Drew. Like, tell me a little bit about what you've been doing after we played together and kind of how you've been involved in the game.
Yeah, so when I came back from Germany, man, that's when I really got, I kind of tore up my shoulder a little bit when I was out there. So it was pretty much the end of my playing career. So I got into coaching. Got into coaching high school a little bit, and then went on to coaching college for a couple years. I was coaching quarterbacks at a really good D3 school out in Pennsylvania. And then I got the opportunity to go and get my first head coaching job in South Jersey at a high school. So I took over there. I was there for the last 4 years. Tough 4 years, tough transition. I was the coach during the COVID year, which was tough. I wound up stepping down this past March just for personal reasons. My daughter's 14. She's going into high school. She's playing soccer. I want to be able to see her and go watch her games and stuff like that. Growing up, my parents never missed a game. So I want to make it a point to try and, make it to as many of her games as I possibly could. I'm still in it though. Like, I got my foot and, my hand and things. I do quarterback training on the side. I got a nice little roster of quarterbacks, high school, some younger guys that I train and throughout South Jersey, and stay involved in the game in that way. And just like I said, looking forward to working with these guys, passing on what I know, and watching them kind of blossom. And it's just as fun as coaching or playing, seeing somebody that you're kind of working with on a day-to-day basis be successful. So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I saw some of those videos. Obviously, when you were coaching, I was following pretty close. It was cool to see you so into the game. I know that's something like daughter wise. I got a little girl, and they kind of tug at your heart a little differently, than you would anticipate. So when they start doing stuff and you're away from it, and all of a sudden you realize you don't want to be away from it. So I totally get it. Slick. You just got back from California, is that right? Like you were out there with one of your programs. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I was out there with a nonprofit organization that I've been working closely with a guy by the name of Adrian McPherson, former NFL, former CFL quarterback. Basically, we started out training, then we kind of switched over to 7-on-7. Now we've gotten to the point to where we're just 7-on-7 training. We did a bus tour, I want to say in the summer, where we took kids to maybe I think 6-7 colleges. I want to say out of that group, I think we collected maybe 22 offers and 2 preferred walk-ons. Just basically just showing kids that the football basically like we talked about earlier, can take you throughout the world. Whether it's networking with people, friendships, if it's meant for you to go to the NFL or Canadian League, just giving them exposure, giving them different outlooks on life, different outlooks on the sport in general. So that's why we was out in California. That's
awesome, man. That's really cool. I know, we texted back and forth, and I was just telling you how important that is for them. Like they idolize you, same thing with your kids out there in Jersey, Drew. Like they idolize you guys. You guys are the example for them. Like we didn't make it to the NFL, but we did some pretty cool stuff. We got to travel the world. We got to do some things that we might have never done if it wasn't for that pig.
I'm forever grateful for the opportunities that I had, through football, man. And it was the road less traveled, man. I transferred from college to college trying to find my spot. It didn't work out for whatever reason, and I got the opportunity to go to Germany and play and play significant football and make an impact. And it's been a lot of fun. And I have played arena league, stuff like that. Dude, I got no regrets about anything about my playing career, man.
No regrets. Regrets.
What about you, BP, man? You I know you're kind of hosting this thing, but what have you been up to the last 10 years?
Man, everything. When I came back, I met my wife, and we just kind of started our life together. That's something, I got the opportunity to play football till I was 30 years old. And that's something that not a lot of people get to do, especially at the running back position. So when I came home, it was just all about, being a family guy. I work for DirecTV now. I have my teaching certificate for high school. I was waiting try to find a teaching job, and I just kind of stumbled in to what I do now, and I absolutely just love it. You get that Sunday ticket for free, that type of stuff. We talked about it.
What's your version of the Red Zone, man? Because that's what I'm on every Sunday now. So,
bro, you got four screens, 4 different games going on. You can go up to 8 games. You got all sorts of stuff. So I'm a nerd. You guys went out and coached and stuff like that. I played a little bit when I came back, but my body was just like saying, bro, no, stop this.
Yeah,
my body just kept like expanding. So I knew it was time to stop. So.
Hey,
but that's why the camera's from here down or here up. And you can't see.
I'll tell you what, I got stung by a big ass bee. That's all I can tell you.
Same.
Ain't no gym rat nowadays. I try my best, but it's all about my little girl. She plays soccer, and I'll tell you what, she's got the eye of the tiger now. Now, when you get to see that from your kid, like, you don't know until they kind of get out there. So she's 5. She's going to be turning 6. She was out there playing soccer, and this girl was getting really competitive. She was actually probably a little bit further on than Berlin. And I was like, hey, I want you to go out there, go against her. She did. She pulled back. She scored a goal and started walking backwards with a smile. And I was like, what? And she looked at the other girl and she goes, and I'm going to do it again. And I was like, oh,
yeah, that's funny.
Get her. Okay, I know where that comes from.
Yeah, that's BP all day. That's BP all day. That is BP all day.
Man, I'm just really looking forward to this and being here, for the duration. And training camp started this week, so where everybody's getting that itch. So it's good to be back, man.
Yes,
absolutely. Sure. Well, really excited to have you guys. I think it's awesome that we get an opportunity to do this. We're going to have a lot of opportunity to talk about all our fun times, your onion kebab that you had.
I told you some of these stories.
Yeah,
stay buried. All right.
Hey, it's like Vegas. It's like Vegas. I know. Same. But welcome to the show. We're gonna start talking some NFL stuff, and there was some news that came out. So training camps officially, all 32 teams in training camp today. It's getting that time of the year where you kind of start smelling that grass. It's hot. Those memories start popping up for each one of us. It's that time of the year. But Kyler Murray all off season long, just kind of had some drama, took all the Cardinal stuff off his Instagram. I don't know if that's like a big deal or not, but he got an extension. And what's really funny about this is, first of all, the money wise is ridiculous because it's $230 million.
Yeah.
For a guy that my last picture of him is in the NFC wildcard game against the Rams, getting tossed around like a little kid. And next thing you know, so it's 5 years, $230.5 million, 160 guaranteed. Okay. But there's a little stipulation that's in there that kind of took the world by storm the last couple days. He's required to independently study 4 hours of game film. I find that it's weird that it's in a contract. Like that means, like, to me, that he either wasn't doing it or it's just not part of his work habit to like force him to do it. I wanted to see what you guys thought about it. Drew, you're a quarterback. So you're a head coach. I need to know.
I'm sitting there today, and I'm sitting in Sports Clips getting this nice shape up. I had to get cut. So, and then they got this on the TV. And what's the owner of the Cardinals name? I don't know.
The owner, Steve, I know the general manager, Steve Keim.
Yeah, he's. They're talking about this contract, and some of these guys are making good points. And I thought it was cool at first, like, holding them accountable and stuff like that. But like, this is like you're forcing somebody to do something that should be, it shouldn't even be a thought of it. So like Kingsbury, like, I'm a big Cliff Kingsbury fan, man. I have been for a long time. But Kingsbury came on and did a press conference, I guess, after practice today, and was like, I've never known him not to watch film or not to, be prepared or whatever. So for him to have that in his contract, like, I'm just going to leave that between the agent and the ownership group. And, I'm going to stay out of that. But you're putting all this money into a franchise quarterback, and you're entrusting him with your franchise. Yeah,
$230 million.
But dude, you're putting in a clause that's a childish clause. Like, dude, 4 hours of film. Like, you could watch 4 hours of film on a Monday. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So I don't understand really what the end game is here for that clause in the contract. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think it's maybe it should have been something that maybe never even came up in topic, but. For an NFL quarterback to be getting paid that kind of money, and he has to have basically a leash on him saying you have to watch film, something's not adding up, man.
Yeah, I felt the same way, especially with the fact that I'm coaching high school now. I tell my receivers and quarterbacks all the time, film is very important. So for, like you said, for them to basically have to force an NFL quarterback to watch 4 hours of film a week, like, I don't know, that's especially, and I feel like that's the most important position on the offensive side.
Oh, for sure. So
it's like that the film room should be like a Bible to him. Like, he should never want to come out of the film room.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, Kingsbury came out and said that he's never had that problem with him. So somebody's lying.
Then why is it
somewhere?
In there?
Somebody's lying. So at some point they had to had to think that maybe he came to a couple games last year unprepared.
Yep.
And didn't do what he needed to do and put in the work that he needed to put in during the week for them to put in this clause in his contract. But then on the other hand, if you don't trust his work ethic,
why are you paying?
How are you trusting him with $230 million and leading your franchise? Just cut ties or do whatever you got to do to, to get what you can for him. Like, I don't know, man. It's a slippery slope, and there's got to be more to the story. So we keep thinking, man, we might be able to talk about this later down the road, but something's going on there.
If he has a bad game, guess what we're talking about?
Yep.
If he goes out and throws 3 picks, or he just just horrible, like he basically was in that NFC wildcard game. Guess what we're talking about now? Because that stuff is everywhere. Everybody's going to be talking about this.
Yep.
And thank God he's not in New York. New York would eat him alive. Like, that dude he'd be at training camp right now, and you'd have people with camcorders out there acting like, oh, you gotta watch the film.
Yep.
Like, their fans are relentless, and when something comes like that, they know. Drew, you guys know this. You can tell. There's a way that they keep track of who's watching how much film, and it's one thing if a receiver doesn't. It's another thing if a lineman doesn't. The quarterback.
Yeah, we do it. We did it. In high school. We did it in college. You're tracking. How many hours, how many minutes a guy's watching. You can see. They had the playbooks online. You could see who opened up the playbooks and stuff like that. But again, you're talking about high school kids. This is your job, your livelihood. It's a lot of money. You shouldn't have to be told to do that.
Well, that comes with the territory.
Right.
And 4 hours isn't a lot either. That's like what? I mean, when you're talking about by the time they ramp up for the game, you're talking maybe an hour a day up to Thursday. That's it. Or less if you take it out past 5-6 days. Like, that's nothing. So I don't know. It's crazy. There's new stuff that's always coming out about this too. Now, I guess on game nights, he has to go to bed at 9:30. Right before he's got to eat his green beans. No, I mean, it's just a childish thing, bro. Like he's got to go to bed at 9:30. Come on.
Yeah,
no. Like, that's crazy. Like, this thing is just ridiculous. It's childish. But this comment popped up. Matt Chrissy, maybe they found out like he was slacking like J. Russ. I think that's Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah.
In blank DVD and listen to him describe the plays. Bro,
I forgot about that. Matt, that's a good point, man. Like, some guys are just there, I guess, for the check. I don't know, but I think they can get by on showing up and slinging it around for 3 hours on a Sunday afternoon. But that was funny. Yeah. I forgot all about Jamarcus Russell doing that. He's been notorious for lying about his study habits and stuff like that. So.
But did you guys? I caught him on the Pivot podcast, and he was basically like giving his whole story and his whole breakdown about all the rumors and him not watching film and him and I mean, it's one of those. So
what were they saying? What was he saying?
At the time, he was going through a lot of stuff, like personal stuff, and then on top of that, he was also talking about how. He was speaking about the business part of it, how certain things would transpire before it even really happened. But like they would put it in the media to make him seem like a certain type of guy, as far as like saying his playing wasn't well. But he was saying, well, I mean, if you look at the team that I had, I didn't really have any guys to help me out. It was a situation.
He's not wrong. They had the number 1 overall pick for a reason, right?
Exactly. And that was one of the things that he said. He was like, we were the number 1 pick for a reason. Like, I mean, we're terrible. He talked about the situation in Vegas, how something about like him and his dad just went to go get away, and like they had just touched down in Vegas, hadn't even went out anywhere, and like they tried to make a big deal saying like they were releasing him or something happened because he was out in Vegas partying, and he was like, I haven't even did anything yet. Like you definitely got to watch the episode, because I was the same way. I was like, they gave you all this money, you don't want to watch film, you're talented, you basically just throwing your career away. But then when I watched the podcast and he kind of broke everything down, I mean, and he owned up to all the stuff as well. Like he didn't make any excuses, he didn't try to justify anything, he owned up to everything. So I respect.
I just I hear you say that, and I just go back to The Last Dance. What was it, a couple summers ago? Hearing that story about Dennis Rodman being out in Vegas, and Phil Jackson says, "Where you been? Why you late?" Blah blah blah. And Jordan goes, "Dude, just be happy he's here. He's back." You know. So, I just thought that. Brought that up.
The difference between J. Russ and Rodman could play. Like Rodman would go out there and ball out, and you wouldn't care what he did.
Yeah.
But J. Russ was out there throwing bullets 10 yards away over like, yeah, he should have had that popcorn. Man,
why can't I play quarterback?
Why can't I play? That's why. Man, it's just weird.
A lot of popcorn
I'm sure
for J. Russ.
We threw a lot of picks.
About the same as me. So.
When you hurt your shoulder? Man.
Anyway,
hey, it's not all in QBs. Yeah, next topic. So we're going to talk about the AFC West today. We're going to just preview it. We're going to kind of talk through this all off season long. We've been watching these teams just get loaded and loaded and loaded. And that whole division, like every single team, it looks like they could go on a run. You can make an argument. Why they're not going to either. So we're going to kind of dive into that. The first team that we're going to talk about is the Denver Broncos. Okay. So obviously we're going to talk about their new additions. They got a new coach, Nathaniel Hackett, but the big one, the real big one, the one that I posted a video and it's on TikTok of me laughing when Russell Wilson got traded from the Seahawks. Kiss it, man. Get out of my division. You can sit with Denver right now.
Oh my
God. He got traded.
This guy's crazy.
I get fired up, bro.
This guy's crazy. I'm going to boo this man. Boo. Listen, before you even get into that, like, you got a new head coach, but not only is your head coach new, okay? Your offensive coordinator is new, first-time offensive coordinator. Your defensive coordinator is new, first-time defensive coordinator in the NFL. Your special teams coordinator is new, first-time special teams coordinator. You're going in with an entirely fresh staff. And I hear good things about Hackett, man. I heard he's a player's coach. The guys like him. They're rallying around him. But when you got 4 rookie coaches who have never done it before and a team that kind of, struggled last year, you better make sure that you're doing the right things, during the week to be ready for Sunday. So Russell Wilson's got it, dude. They better be watching at least 4 hours of film. All right,
independent study.
Yeah. Russell's got his hands full, man, and we'll talk more about it. But I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got a lot of.
You got fired.
A lot of questions about
the coach. The coaches, all of them are new. All the coaches are new. They're all new.
Listen, you can't, dude. My first year as a head coach in high school, I didn't know anything to do. I relied on the coaches who have been there for the last 25, 30 years. The veteran coaches are the guys who helped me get through the year. All right. This guy doesn't have anybody.
We're not talking about a rookie, though.
Yeah,
but this guy about a rookie.
No, I'm talking about a rookie head coach and a rookie OC and a rookie DC and a rookie special teams coordinator. Nobody's been there before. So who's going to answer the questions? Who are you going to lean on?
Yeah. What do you think?
Don't come to me.
What do you think?
I mean, I agree with him to an extent. I still feel like he said, we both have touched the high school level, but that's the pro level. I feel like those guys got in those positions for a reason. So they had to come from underneath somebody's umbrella. I mean, yeah, it's different when you actually have the title and you're calling the shots. but I'm pretty sure they've done their homework and been around the right guys to where the Broncos, especially with John Elway being the head honcho, to bring those guys on board. I mean,
I don't think he's out.
Oh no, it's
year,
not.
Right?
It's Lynch.
Yeah.
Isn't it Lynch or
right.
it's Lynch, right?
No.
Yeah.
So
No, Lynch is in San Francisco.
Lynch is in San Fran.
Right.
Yeah.
Elway was running it. He's not running it anymore.
He's
in a higher up.
He's the GM.
That's right.
Yeah, something. I don't know. He's not in the highest position as he was like a couple years ago, but he's still pretty high up there. But
he's still around there.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he still has some type of say-so or something.
I mean, the offensive coordinator, Justin Alton. He spent the last 6 years with Green Bay. Like, okay, you're in the Green Bay system, dude. You got Aaron Rodgers. All right, like that's going to make a lot of people look good. The defensive coordinator comes from the Rams. He was the Rams secondary coach last year. Like, okay, you're the coach of the Rams.
Besides Jalen Ramsey, by the way, that secondary is trash. They had to get Eric Waddle out of retirement, bro, to make a playoff run. So, like, to your point,
am I putting too much merit in the coaching staff? Maybe, but somebody's got to lead these guys. Somebody's got to get these guys ready. All right.
I mean, I think they'll be able to get it done. I mean, at the end of the day, all vet coaches, they had to start from somewhere at some point.
Yeah. I will say, though, hey, to your point, Ricky, when you talk about, like, these guys must know, all you have to say is Adam Gase, Jim Tomsula, these guys that were, like, they came in as head coaches and they just stunk up the room. And I don't know how Gase got a second shot, especially his first press conference, and he had, like, the bug eyes from, like, the dude from Big Daddy where they're all over the place. But this team – so why – yeah, why did they struggle last year? Drew Lock was their quarterback.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it. Like, Drew Lock was their quarterback. There's a reason why they went out and got Russell Wilson. I feel like this team is built to win. They just didn't have the right guy pulling the trigger.
Drew Lock's your quarterback, but also on the flip side of that, your top two leading tacklers are your two safeties. When your two safeties are two leading tacklers on a team making tackles in the secondary, we got problems.
Yeah.
There's problems. They got problems all over the field. And it's more than just a quarterback position.
That HC cam, I can see your vein popping out.
Dude, Gregory's going to help a little bit, man. If he
Gregory,
stays healthy.
Gregory definitely a help. They still got Chubb, right?
Yep. And actually, there's a report that came out today. So, everybody's reporting to training camp that he looks better than ever. He's been injury riddled, ACL, whatever it is. So he'll help. But Randy Gregory, he's one of those, like, veteran guys that if he can come in and make an impact, great. But I got question marks about him. He's had an injury history too, and
he's been hurt kind of a lot in Dallas, man. But
yeah,
dude, you're talking about somebody who can come in and get you. He could add 8 to 10 sacks a year, and that's not only going to help out him, but it's going to help out the other guys on the defense too. But dude, you can't be having your two safeties as your leading tacklers and your linebackers nowhere in the picture, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that's why we're skipping down the list here, but Nick Bonito, they drafted him in the first round to help out the linebacking crew. But the guy I think that's going to help out that run game the most is a guy that I've watched in San Francisco for quite a while. In fact, according to Pro Football Focus, he is the third ranked run stopper on the defensive line, DJ Jones. This guy's a freak, man. He is big. He doesn't look like he can be fast, but he is. So I think that's a huge signing for them. And then the Shark, K'Wan Williams, as a nickel back. I think he's kind of on the back end of his career. But the big ones that they're missing, so K'Wan Williams is replacing Kyle Fuller, but Noah Fant, dude. I like that guy a lot, and I feel like if Russell Wilson would have been paired up with him, obviously he was part of that trade, that would have been huge. But now, as we kind of turn this page here, and look at what this line will be, we'll just skip to the offense. We got Jerry Jeudy, we got Cortland Sutton, and Patrick out here. But this tight end spot is a big deal. I'm not sold on it. We'll skip to the defense. So to what you're saying, not good.
Yeah, I mean,
I imagine Benito is going to go in there.
Jewel coming back off of injury, needs the help. But to touch on what you said, man, losing Fant, their receiving core was not great last year. All right, and I know people, they say Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, whatever, but Fant added an element to that defense, and I'll talk about it more than one time on this podcast throughout the year. But when you have a athletic tight end that could cause or create space in an open field, catch the football, and get yards after the catch, it makes it so tough for a defense to defend that and worry about the run game and worry about the other receivers. And they just don't have that receiver, I don't think, that could stretch the field, or they haven't shown it anyway. So I think losing Fant is probably going to be one of their biggest, if not the biggest loss for them offensively. Now, you come back, you add Russell Wilson. Obviously, we know what he can do, but he's got to bounce back. He had a bad hand injury last year and didn't play that great. He played in 10, 12 games, but he did not. It wasn't the Russell Wilson of old.
No, and I still want him out of my division, though. I'll tell you what, like that guy, like get him out of here. He is a baller. He'll lose for 3.5 quarters and come back and beat your ass in that last 2 minutes, and you're going, how'd that happen?
Drew, I
definitely in the Bible.
I definitely agree with you with Font leaving. That definitely is a big loss for them. But as far as the receiving core, I like their receiving core. Like we said, they had Locke last year, and then Jerry Jeudy, he wasn't healthy. I mean, now you have a healthy Jerry Jeudy.
Is Jeudy in legal trouble?
No,
he got in trouble over the offseason, I thought.
Yeah, so there was a domestic deal where he got arrested, but then literally the next day,
I don't think
nothing everything.
I don't think nothing came about it.
Yeah, there was nothing about it. Like he was brought in because it was a domestic thing. Some of the laws in Colorado, it had something to do with that. I'm not a legal guy here. I mean, I'm doing this podcast.
There's different Coloradans.
I definitely feel like if their receiver core stays healthy with Sutton, Patrick, and Jeudy, with Wilson pulling the trigger now, I think they can make it happen in the pass game.
Well, Wilson's gonna have to call the plays too, then, Rick. All right, because I ain't sold on the offensive coordinator.
I agree with you. I mean, but let's be real. Like when you have those vet quarterbacks, you have OC guys that's their title, but I mean, a lot of those guys pretty much do call their own plays for the most part.
I got you. I'm with you. I hear you. I'm not sold on these Broncos, man.
No, really, I can't tell. At all. Jeez.
Sorry.
I'll tell you, I think they were a quarterback away last year. They had a really good roster. I felt like being 7-10 as Drew Lock is your quarterback, you're kind of overachieving, in my opinion. Yeah. They have a good defense. They got Patrick Surtain last year, who I thought balled out his rookie season. So we take a look at this lineup here just real quick. Their defense is solid if Randy Gregory steps up. Bradley Chubb plays to what his capability is. You have a solid defensive line, and then you look at that secondary. If your D line is balling out and your secondary is balling out, sometimes you can get away with your linebackers not being as experienced, right? Like those guys kind of make up for some of that stuff. If that defense is getting home and not allowing you to pass, the problem is you got to force them to third and long to make them pass. If they're getting to the safeties and getting 7-8 yards a clip, you can forget about it. But I think they got a good defense. When I turned over on offense is where I got the issues. Russ left an offensive line that wasn't very good. They got better after he left, but you still look at this. It's not the greatest in the world. Thank God he can run around. Yeah. It's okay. And they lose Fant, who also was, he was great in the passing game, but he was integral in the run game as well. Those tight ends have to block. They have to be able to help you. Yeah. I will tell you, Javonta Williams, I'm really excited about him. And they got Melvin Gordon again. So they have a two-headed backfield.
Thing, BP, with them getting Melvin Gordon back, I think is huge for Javonta Williams' progression. Because, dude, if you look at their numbers from last year, they're pretty much exactly identical. Carries, yards, whatever. But I think for
identical.
You lost me on that one, pal. Anyway, so
my cousin Vinny, bro. That's Jersey.
Okay. All right, my bad. All right, I'll take that. That was my fault. Anyway, but yeah, they're identical numbers, man. And a veteran running back, like you touched on earlier, man. Running backs are, they're not lasting very long anymore. It's a tough position to play. So for them to be able to get Gordon back and kind of help groom Williams again next year or this year, dude, I think that's going to be big for his progression. Just a touch on it too, like Surtain, dude. I think he's awesome. I think he's a breath of fresh air, and if it wasn't for Micah Parsons, he could have made a strong case for defensive rookie of the year. So he's fun to watch, dude. You're talking about 58 tackles, 14 pass breakups, and 4 picks as a rookie. Like, dude, it's a really good year, man. So I only anticipate him getting better. So
now they're going to have to be stacked, right? Like they had to go do this. Like if we watch their entire division just load up, they had to do something. There's no way. Last year they were 4th in the division. They missed the playoffs. You know that they're chomping at the bit to kind of get back there, and they're kind of going to the old when they got Peyton Manning, and they went to the Super Bowl. Strong defense, have a guy that is capable of playing quarterback.
Pull that comment up.
She doesn't know.
She's
she doesn't
exactly
know
right.
any of them.
All right, I should have known this one as a Jersey guy. I should have gotten.
You should have known that,
but it took me a second. I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting it from the dude from Idaho. All right, so.
Oh wow!
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
We got.
We'll talk about some shots later.
We're talking about this bum team for too long. Let's get our predictions or our projections here.
Yeah, so just taking a look at the schedule, it's not that easy, right? So it starts out first 2 games. Okay, that's a good way to warm up. San Francisco is going to be a tough team for them to play, not just because they got the logo in the background. They got a really good roster. Then they play their division rival, Vegas. They go Indy. Hey, they're looking really good. I like Indy as a dark horse this year. Spoiler alert when we get to the AFC South. You got the Chargers. You got Tennessee on the schedule. You got everybody in the AFC West on the schedule twice. That alone is going to be really tough. But then they play the Rams, and then they close it out against the Chiefs and the Chargers. That schedule is brutal. And if they really struggle at any point, they could miss the playoffs. So what are you guys thinking? You look at this schedule. We kind of went over their additions. What are you guys thinking about what they're going to do this season? They're better than they were last year, but they also have a tough schedule, and their division is way tougher. It's the toughest division in football.
I mean, I feel like if everybody stays healthy for the most part, like I said, you got Russell, and they got a good run game. I mean, I feel like they can make it happen. I mean, maybe not Super Bowl, but at least playoffs.
I think this division. I think everybody in this division has got a chance. But if I'm going to throw a number on it, dude, they were 7-10 last year. I'm putting them at 9-8. I'm putting them at 9-8. I don't think they got enough to get it done. This division is stacked, and we're going to obviously keep talking about it. I just don't think they have enough talent. Man. I don't think that Russell's going to be the answer. He's going to help, but he's not going to be the savior.
You got them missing the playoffs at 9-8 or squeaking in?
No, I'm missing. I don't think they're taking. Okay. Yeah, because they're not going to win it. They're not going to win the West.
No, not at 9-8.
They're going to take 2 teams from the West. They
could take
two wild card teams.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think that's
going to happen. What do you look at this? Slick, I know that you're looking at this with a little bit more optimism than Bummer Drew over there is. He's crapping on this team this entire time. He can't wait to have me change this and get this off that orange.
I can't wait. I
can tell.
Can't wait. These guys have had 18 minutes of our time. It's 17 too much.
What do you think, Slick?
Like I said, I feel like if everybody's like you said, last year they finished 7-10 with Locke at quarterback. They had a lot of key injuries. Now you get Russ, you add some guys on the defensive side. You got a healthy offense. You get Gordon back.
Josh.
What did I say? Oh, I feel like they definitely can make a playoff run. If not a playoff, maybe like a wild card and get in there. I don't think they'll go to like the division championship or anything like that. But I think they can make some noise.
See, I'm opposite of both you guys. I think they have the opportunity. They're built like that early Seattle team when Russell went to the Super Bowl and won, actually. So they have a really good run game. They got some good receivers. They have a good defense. If they let Russ cook, I don't think it gets it done. If he's throwing 30, 35 times a game, I don't think that gets it done. But if they are able to run the ball and play balanced by letting him be able to play action, get outside the pocket, and do the things that he can do, and allow him 25 attempts. And that's nothing on Russ. I just think that's the formula for this team. Play good defense, run the ball, don't give the other team an opportunity. But in this division, it's going to be tough. I do have them making the playoffs, but I got them at 10-7. So
pull up his comment. Except with a whole new franchise.
He's a Niner guy, though, too.
Speaking language here, man.
Hey, Josh is a Niner guy, so he wants to see Russ fail, and as much as I do too. I'm just saying, I look at the
It
roster.
ain't even going to be about Russ. It's not going to. Russ can't save the program. They're not good enough anywhere else.
So you're telling me right now, Drew, that Russell Wilson can't pick up 3 more wins than Drew Lock did last year?
No, he can pick up 2. I got him at 9-8. 2.
Man,
next.
Tough.
Thank you, Chargers. Woo! Let's go, Chargers.
Yeah, let's get Drew by the beach, man. He needs to relax. He's over there, heart pumping. All right, now I'm excited about the Chargers here. Okay, they went out and they spent a lot in free agency. They made some trades, so they got J.C. Jackson, who is the most coveted defensive back in free agency. They got Hugh Wood. Hey, yeah, just wait. All right. When they got Khalil Mack, which I don't know what to expect from him, but you pair him up with Joey Bosa, that's a big deal. I think that's a huge deal. Mm-hmm. So, when it comes to that, they got Bryce Callahan from Denver. I like Gerald Everett, being able to pair him up with Herbert. I think that's good to get him a good experienced tight end. And they really went out and they drafted a good guard, Zion Johnson. So I look at them and I'm saying, hey, they got better. They addressed their linebacker position in Kyle Van Noy, but Brian Bulag is gone. I know he was riddled with injuries. Chris Harris, Justin Jackson, their running back, he's a free agent, and Linval Joseph. I think they got better with their additions. But Drew, the cynic, what do you got, man? What do you think on these guys?
This Charger team, you talking about the Broncos being your dark horse. This Charger team is my dark horse, all right? And it starts with one guy, J.H. Justin Herbert, all right? The best quarterback in the last 40 years of the NFL. You heard me say it.
Whoa.
No, I'm just
kidding.
Come on. Yeah, you got Herbert, 69 passing TDs in his first 2 seasons, 9,350 passing yards, the most in NFL history in his first 2 seasons, all right? I think this kid could be as good as any quarterback out there. I heard an interesting stat, man, as I was watching and studying up on this AFC West. AFC West has 4 of the top 15 quarterbacks in the NFL, all right? And I think that's
did you just include Russell Wilson in there?
No.
Did you just include Russell Wilson?
Probably
there?
number 4. All right, in that. I'm just saying that's by ranking. I think it's a quarterback league, but I think Herbert is on top, man. And we'll talk about this. And I know we got another good quarterback in this topic here, but for Herbert to put up kind of numbers that he's putting up, man, he's just got to make it all click this year. And I think they're going to go as far as he wants to take them.
It's his 3rd year, right? He's going
into his third year.
Yeah. This is when you see guys that are comfortable now. They're not a rookie anymore. They don't have to worry about that sophomore slump, whatever. He didn't have that. He lit it up his first year. He lit up his second year, and he got better. I think we're watching a star in the making, a guy that we're going to talk about in the NFL for the next 15 years. You're dead on through.
As a guy who collects sports cards too, his sports card stock is through the roof right now. All right,
nice.
Yeah, I agree.
Like what you got?
I like Herbert as well. He won me a lot of fantasy games. Let's be honest, he really did from his rookie year and last year. I don't have an NFL team. I just like individuals. But as far as quarterbacks, ever since Drew Brees retired, he's been my guy. I'm not gonna lie. I just like the way he plays the game. And then, like you said, that additions that they got, I can see them doing some good things this season.
Yeah, this division, they're going to beat up on each other. We know that's going to happen. You kind of look through, their defensive line. Now, I'm not excited about the guys in the middle. I'm not excited about Fox and Joseph Day. But you got Khalil Mack and Bosa. You get them in 3rd and long. Those guys close out games. And that's what they couldn't do last year. There's a game against the Chiefs where the Chiefs went right down the field on them every single time. They gave Mahomes a million years to throw the ball. And if you do that for any quarterback, that's going to make it tough on your secondary. So I think that's going to be the key. They got to get them to 3rd down. They're undersized at linebacker. That's why they brought in Kyle Van Noy. I think he's going to be good there. He wasn't.
And I think you touched on it, BP. Like you got to create pressure in the backfield to take some pressure off the secondary, man. And I think the defense as a whole has got to get better. And I think, Khalil Mack, if he returns 2-3 years ago form, it's lights out between him and Bosa. But He missed most of the season. If not, he only played like 2 games last year, right? Something like that.
Yeah, something
he
like
played,
that.
but you don't know what you're going to get. But if you get anything remotely close to his typical form between him and Bosa, man, it's going to be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah, and you're going to have to, like you said, this division has some of the top guys at the position, not in just the AFC, in the entire NFL. Like, you got to get after him. You got to create pressure. Even Tommy Brady, when he gets under pressure, the great ones crumble. They all do. Yeah. They don't like getting hit. You know that, Drew. You don't
have to pressure Russell as much, but all the other quarterbacks in this division are pretty tough.
Bro, offensively, I'm taking a look at this. I got a question mark at that third wide receiver position. Now, they like to put Keenan Allen in the slot. Slick, I'm looking at this, and I want to know what your thoughts are. They got Mike Williams out there. They got Keenan Allen. They don't have, to me, a complete package of receivers. They brought in Gerald Everett. He's an older guy. He kind of fumbles the ball a little bit, but he's a veteran who knows the game. When I look at this, I know that they have an offense, but it doesn't jump off the page to me like some of the other ones do in this division.
I mean, no, it doesn't. But just from watching them last year, I feel like you got 3 guys that basically plays their role well. You got Mike Williams, a tall guy, fast, pretty much the jump ball guy, mismatch situations. You got Guyton, blow the top off. The only thing I say about Guyton, his hands is kind of iffy here and there. I seen him catch some hard ones, then he'd come back and drop some easy ones. Allen, I feel like he's the most underrated receiver in the game as far as route running and just making plays. Eckler, I feel like they can make it happen. I mean, with the system that they run and the fact that Herbert is their gunslinger, I don't feel like you really have to have 3 or 4 like top-notch all-star receivers.
I think you guys might be forgetting too. Like, dude, their third receiver had 647 yards and 8 touchdowns receiving. And who was it, Brandon? Could you guess? Austin Eckler. Eckler. We're forgetting about him. He is such a threat out of the backfield catching the ball that you're taking a little bit of a load off of your third wide receiver, which you don't really expect a whole lot out of. But now you add another dynamic to the game, man. And
right
getting 8 receiving touchdowns out of your running back adds a little something to the offense, man. And that's where I'm hung up on this team. I think they got weapons all over the place.
Yeah. Hey, I like catching balls out of the backfield, Drew.
I know you like catching balls too. Like, we get it, bro. Like,
I think
bro, the thing with how many touchdowns did I have to you out of the backfield, man? That's what I'm talking about. I don't know.
There's a lot. It's a lot. I'll tell you what. The one thing that I do worry about this team, okay, with Denver, they got a 2-headed monster in the backfield that can close out a game when you got 4 minutes left and they could run the ball down your throat. That's the one chink in the armor, I think, for this team, because I think Herbert's going to have to throw it 40 times, unlike Russ will have to. I think they're lined up and ready to throw 40 times and play almost arena ball in the NFL and say, we're going to go after your quarterback. We're going to just – I don't see the closer at this position, not bagging Austin Eckler. I just don't think it's the way their offense is built. So that's my thing.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was definitely going to say that. I don't think that's the type of offense they have. I mean, but I definitely will say last year in a few close games, I feel like that it did come back and bite them in the butt because they didn't have that strong run game like that.
I agree. I agree with that. But, and you mentioned, you said something about, turning it into arena football in the NFL. Like, I think a lot more offenses are going to that, though. So I think it's starting to become part of the game. It's not unusual for guys to be throwing 45, 50, 55 times a game. Like, so I don't know. I do agree with you, though. I don't think they have that banger at running back that could just close out a game. You give them the ball, and
that could cost you a game, right?
Sure,
you're playing against Kansas City. You give Mahomes another opportunity. You give Carr another opportunity. Anybody in the AFC, quite frankly, there's a ton of quarterbacks there. But you look at their schedule. It's much like what the Broncos were. Obviously they're playing now the AFC West, but they play the 49ers. They play the Cardinals. They got the Dolphins, Titans in there, but I think it's a little bit easier than I think what the Broncos was for whatever reason. But I think they got a little bit of an easier schedule. What do you guys think?
I got them at 11-6 here. guys. I think they're going to have a good year. It's going to be a toss up, man. And spoiler looking forward, I think it's going to be a toss up of them winning the division here, and I think they can make some noise in the playoff.
I agree. I was going to say 11-6 as well, because they went 9-8 last year, right?
Yeah.
9-8.
Yeah. I think with a third year Herbert, I could see them going 11-6, and like you said, possibly winning their division.
Now that means they're going to have to knock out somebody that was better than them last year, right? The Raiders, who we're going to talk about next. Well, let's just get to them. They're going to have to beat the Raiders or the Chiefs to climb up to 11-6, because they were 9-8. They narrowly missed the playoffs. They were third in their division last year, so they're definitely looking to improve on that. But now we got the Las Vegas Raiders coming in. They got Coach Josh McDaniel here. Oh, here we go. Josh McDaniel's coming from New England. I think that's going to be huge. The big one here, Chandler Jones. You see these guys, all these teams in the AFC West that are pairing up defensive ends, edge rushers to go after the quarterback. They got theirs, Chandler Jones. The big one, though, Davante Adams, getting that trade, getting him out of Green Bay and pairing him up with his college quarterback Derek Carr. I think that's huge.
Who's going to throw him the ball? Sorry, jumping ahead. Proceed.
Is it Derek Carr? Is it Derek Carr throwing him the ball?
Yeah.
Oh, Derek Carr, Mr. More interceptions and touchdowns, but we'll talk about it.
I mean,
you thought I went in on the Broncos. I'm going in on the Raiders.
I agree with you. His stats. I mean, but what receivers has he really had? Like, he hasn't had an Adams since he's been there. Waller is his number one. I mean, and there's nothing against Waller because he's a crazy tight end, but that's been his guy.
That's one of my points here, Ricky. Like, Waller needs to return back to his 2020 form. All right, he had a little bit of a down year last year. He was dealing with some stuff, injuries, personal issues, and stuff like that. But my big thing is, for me, as I'm studying this division, I'm studying Derek Carr, and as a QB guy, man, you got 24 touchdowns with 14 interceptions and over 600 passing attempts. All right, that's not good numbers. It's not a good ratio. It's not enough touchdowns. You're not putting your offense in enough positions to win ball games on your back, like you should be doing. You want to be the guy. You want to be the head team in the AFC West, and you got a quarterback that can't break a 50% ratio of touchdowns to interceptions. Whatever the math. I'm not a mathematician.
Get it, but you still got to give them weapons.
2-to-1 ratio.
You still got to give them weapons. I feel like with the pickup with White, now you got Jacobs and White in the backfield, so that gives them a nice run game. You got Adams. Now you give him a true number one receiver, and you still got Waller. Now that takes a little pressure off Waller. Now Waller can be a true tight end and probably the number two option, and then all the other guys just kind of like play their roles. So I feel like they'll have a better season. I feel like he'll have a better year this year. I mean,
I think like I said, I think Waller is the X factor here. And I'll say it again, having a good tight end that could do a lot for you can create so many mismatches in the defense. It's important. Now, is he going to return to form back from injury? It remains to be seen. But if he does, with the addition of Davante Adams, it's going to put them in a better position. But Derek Carr, dude, he just hasn't been a guy for me that and I know he gets a lot of attention over the past years, but he's never been a guy for me where I just look at him and I think elite, and I don't think he's elite, man. And I just don't.
I won't say he's elite. But I definitely feel like if you give him somebody like an Adams, I feel like he'll do better than what he's been doing. But I definitely won't put him in that elite category.
No.
So none of you guys had talked about the guy that's going to knock on your door and ask you about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's Hunter Renfrow. You guys didn't even mention this dude. This dude is a killer in the slot, and he's going to be paired up with Davante Adams. He's going to be paired up with Waller. You got Josh Jacobs in the backfield, and the reason I put him on here, he was a 4th rounder, but Zamir White, Zeus.
White Georgia. He's a guy.
Beast.
He's a guy. That's why I said him and Jacobs back there in the backfield together, he definitely can go.
Dude, I'm all about production, and I get it with the rookies and stuff like that. But I'm a wait and see kind of guy with these rookies. So That's why I'm not getting up in arms with anybody.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm not a huge fan of what this defense looks like. I know that they got Chandler Jones. No. I know that they got Max Crosby. I think they're thin right up the middle. And then you look on the outside. I know that they brought in Rocky Sin that was part of the trade to Yannick Ngakoue when he left. He was part of that package from Indianapolis. He's a young guy. Obviously, he's
I like him. He's a Temple guy, man.
He is.
Rocky, he's a Temple guy. He's a good corner. But
yeah,
let me throw a number out there, and I'm going to be the number guy because I like to study and do this stuff. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to know what I'm talking about. 6 interceptions last year as the defense, as an entire team. The Raiders.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It's a huge problem, and I don't think Rocky Sin is making up for that problem himself. No,
they're young.
You get 6 total interceptions, man. You got to do a better job of putting your offense in good positions, creating turnovers. Yeah. But I saw that. Big guy, I could not believe that, man.
Dude, my biggest thing. So Matt, so we see him here in the comments. He's a huge Raiders fan, and I watch them. Kind of give him a hard time, and kind of sometimes I'll jump on their back but Jonathan Abram. He is a dude that will come up and hit you, but he misses his assignment all the time. Yes. Not just a little bit. He misses it all the time. He's just trying to go hit somebody. He's playing his own game. And I think on the back end, that really hurts when he's out there. And I think he's kind of on a short leash this year with the new coach. If he doesn't buy in, Josh McDaniels coming over here from New England. We know that when guys come over from New England, what's the first thing that they try to do? That New England way. It's not going to work with him.
Talk about that's another one. You talk about me not liking the coach. The recycle, dude. I'm not a McDaniels fan. I've never been a McDaniels fan.
Now, offensively, I think they can put up some points. To your point, Carr's got to do better than 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. He's got to. He has all the weapons. He literally does not have an excuse anymore. He's had it before. Okay, well, we're kind of rebuilding. Then they tear it down. Then their head coach goes through it. John Gruden, whatever that issue is. He goes out. Now they got a new guy in. They have to be able to get this done with him. And, they're going to pay him a lot of money. Or they did pay him a lot of money. They just got Devontae Adams. This is on Derek Carr. If he doesn't get it done, it's going to be a huge problem for the Raiders. And it's not easy because when you take a look at their schedule, it's tough. Dude, you got Indianapolis, you got the Chiefs, you got the Broncos, you got you start off against the Chargers and the Cardinals, which, by the way, I'm not a huge proponent of the Cardinals right now, but when they do play good, it's at the early part of the season. And that's kind of been Cliff Kingsbury's thing wherever he's gone. You got the Patriots. They're going to be tough.
Look at that bye week, though, man. That's the week 6 bye. That's early. And now you're going into what, 12 straight?
Yep.
3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, man.
They could. Smokes. I hate to say it, Matt, and I apologize in advance. They could start off 0-4 real quick, 0-5.
Real quick.
Chargers, Cardinals, Titans, Broncos, Chiefs. That's a mid-season gauntlet, and you're coming out of preseason. That's going to be tough. Thank God you got the Texans after your bye. Maybe you can get back on track. And, you got the Saints and the Jaguars, but then you're right back to it. So this schedule is going to be brutal. That early bye is going to be brutal.
It's tough, man.
If they don't get out of that, I don't think they make the playoffs.
I don't think they make the playoffs, to be honest with you.
I got the Raiders, and this is going to sound crazy, but I got the Raiders coming in at 6-11 this year.
Oh, I can see 6 wins.
I went through the schedule, man, and I'm like,
weak.
I'm not sold on Carr, but Carr's going to get better with Adams. The secondary, man. I can't see it. So I got the Raiders coming in at 6-11 this year.
I feel like the whole defense period is kind of weak. I mean,
they're young. They're really young.
Yeah, they're young.
Yeah. Now we've seen teams that we've looked at, like the Cincinnati Bengals last year. I'm guilty of it. I looked at their team and I said, on paper, they got no business doing anything. They represent the AFC in the Super Bowl last year. Yeah. Like, they can get done, but that's Joe Burrow, and he proved himself. Like, on paper, I get it. I'm looking at this. I'm seeing the same thing that you guys are. I see a defense that has a weak secondary. I see linebackers that are going to have trouble stopping the run. They got their defensive tackles just haven't played well, and they got a schedule from hell. 6 is low. I think 6 is low. I don't think it's crazy. I'm going to put them at 7. I think they're going to be the team that's 7-10 this next year, and I think they're going to lose some close games because of their defense. And I think you're going to put it on. Yeah, you're going to put it on Carr. He threw 2 picks and threw it 45 times, bro.
Because of interceptions and then lack of interceptions. So if that makes sense, throwing too many and take too few takeaways.
Drew, when you were coaching, you talked about turnover ratio, didn't you?
Yeah.
What's the stats? I know what's it 3. If you're +3 in the turnover ratio,
they said it's
like 95%.
No, like, it's even. I think it's less than that. I think if you win the turnover battle, it's like 90-something%.
Yeah.
For a game. I know. There's a whole lot of numbers. There's a whole lot of numbers out there. Like my high school coach growing up told me, the team in high school that scores 21 points wins 90-something% of the time. Like, dude, I don't know if that's true anymore. Just the way the game's evolving.
Yeah, the way.
It's got to be up where it's like 35, probably.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, let's move on to this next team. We got the Kansas City Chiefs. They're the division champs. They're coming off an AFC Championship defeat by those Cincinnati Bengals. Now, they've had a lot of shuffling going around, and I'm not sure how much I'm excited about it, because anytime that you have a lot of change from a team that had a lot of continuity, it's kind of tough. You lose Tyreek Hill, who I think it makes the difference on their team, because he can blow the top off that the defense, but he's also a tremendous route runner. He's great after the catch. So you have to play them differently, which opens up Travis Kelce. So he's going to see a lot of different looks than he's used to seeing with Tyreek Hill out there. Now you bring in a guy that's Juju Smith-Schuster, who plays the best out of the slot. You replace Tyrann Mathieu with Justin Reed. You bring in Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who he played well in Green Bay, and he's a good receiver. But when you're trying to replace a guy with maybe 2 receivers, I think it could be good and it could be bad. But then you bring in Ronald Jones. This is a team that I think if they really ran the ball and focus on that, they would do really well. And then they focus on their secondary, Trent McDuffie out of University of Washington, George Karlaftis to get that edge in the first round. So they had 2 first-rounders there. But they lost a lot, guys. And I don't know. They lost a lot, and they're trying to replace. And whenever you see that, I don't think they –
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Brandon. Like, you try to replace 1 with 2. It doesn't always work that way, I think Juju is a good player, and we know that he is. But, Valdez-Scantling, I think, is decent. We've seen him do some good things in Green Bay, but I don't know if I've seen him do enough. But, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. And Mahomes is Mahomes. And can Clyde stay healthy? If Clyde could stay healthy for a full season, he's dynamic, man, and he's a game changer. I think picking up Ronald Jones adds a little, depth to that, to the backfield. I think, like I said, it'll take a little bit of a load off of Clyde. Maybe he doesn't have to carry as much of the load as he has been. But, dude, the Chiefs are always going to be the Chiefs.
Are they though? They struggled coming out last year. What were they 3-5?
Yeah, they struggled, and then what happened? They picked it up, dude. Yeah, they'll find a way to get it done. They'll find a way to be in the picture at the end of the year. Mahomes, and maybe I shouldn't say the Chiefs are going to be the Chiefs, but Mahomes is going to be Mahomes, all right? Because he started off so poorly last year, and then how did he finish? I think Travis Kelce needs to dominate.
He's getting older. He's not getting younger, though.
I know.
He's not getting younger.
I know, but he could still play. And
yeah, he can. Slick, what you got on this, man?
I think that, like Drew said, the Chiefs are going to be the Chiefs. I mean, and Andy Reid is the coach at the end of the day, so they'll find a way offensively. I think their downfall will be the defense. They lost some key guys on that defensive side. As far as offense,
they lost a lot.
Yeah, as far as offensively goes, I mean, you lose Tyreek Hill, but you still have Hartman. Now, of course, he's not Tyreek Hill, but he's Tyreek Hill-like. So if they can use Hartman in the same type of ways they use Tyreek Hill, and like you said, line Juju up in the slot, let him use his frame. You still got your guy from Packers. What's his name?
Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, Scantling. He's a speedster from USF. He's a speedster, so he can stretch the field. Then you add Jones to the backfield. I feel like with Mahomes, I mean not Mahomes, but Mahomes. I feel like with Mahomes at quarterback, you can still make something happen offensively. But like I said, I think they're going to have problems trying to stop people.
When you look at this defense right here, that's exactly it. Jordan Reed coming in from the Houston Texans. Now, he played well, but you look at this PFF grade, 50. That's not good. You got a rookie coming in that's going to replace Shadarius Ward, who I think is a very underrated corner in the league. I don't like you replacing an edge rusher with a rookie up the middle. I know that they got Chris Jones, but I'm not a huge fan of their defense at all, and I think they're going to have to play without Tyreek Hill there. I think Mahomes struggles. I think he struggles early. I do think that he is a good quarterback, but there's a guy that came out today, and of course, take it for what it's worth, an undisclosed defensive coordinator that says Patrick Mahomes is good with his first read, and if he doesn't have that, then he runs around and there's problems. There's something to be said about that a little bit. I'm not saying that's all he is, but he does have issues when sometimes that first guy is not there and he tries to make something happen. Yeah. He's like Favre. He pulls it off sometimes. A lot of times.
Was that Jack Del Rio too, or not?
Probably. That's
where Mahomes could get in trouble at, because like you said, a lot of times he would get in trouble and he would throw it up and Tyreek Hill would come away with a catch, or Kelsey would come away with a catch. We've seen that a lot,
even in the Super Bowl a couple years. Was that how many?
Yeah.
A couple years.
Now he doesn't have that Tyreek Hill guy who could just come away with something. I mean, you still got Kelsey. Like I said, Hardman isn't Hill. He's Hill-like. I mean, I feel like
nobody's Hill. Everybody's looking for Hill. And I wanted to ask you this, Slick. So you're a receiver. That's your craft. Like you coach this. You played it. I think Tyreek Hill is a huge loss, more than anybody can think about, because of what he's able to do. A lot of times you don't see fast guys be great route runners. He is. He can stop on a dime from going 100 miles an hour. He can run after the catch. He can kind of do it all. What do you think that impact is going to be of how defenses are going to be able to play the Chiefs now that he's gone? I think the defenses can almost match up now, when before they had a really hard time.
I mean, like I said, with Andy Reid as the head coach, you just never know. Like, because he's had teams where he's had less weapons on the perimeter. You don't have Tyreek Hill, but you still have Hardman. Hardman is a step or two behind Hill as far as speed. And to be honest with you, I feel like Hardman might run better routes than Hill. Like, to be honest with you. I mean, Hill runs good routes, but he's not one of the top 5, maybe not even top 10 route runners. Just because he really doesn't have to. Like, he just blows the top off everything. And you can put him in the backfield, jet sweeps. He doesn't really have to. Schuster, he can eat up that. He's basically kind of like a smaller hybrid tight end again on the other side of Kelsey. So they can work that inside, and then you got Scantling. He can stretch the field, and he's a bigger body. So I mean,
I'm just saying, anytime that Hill was that big play guy, like where he could catch it, go 70, touchdown, looks great on Mahomes stat sheet, looks great on the offense, time of possession. They didn't have to have it a lot, and they got 7 points. I think it puts a lot more pressure on Mahomes because that ability's gone. He's going to have to work a little bit more to get down the field than he's used to. He's had Tyreek Hill. They can just, all right, I'm going to throw it up. He's outran everybody. He's got it. Or I can throw him this little screen or a drag route, and he's going to take it to the house. Like, I don't think that element's there anymore, and that puts more plays on him that he's got to get it done.
Yeah. If everybody plays their role, I feel like he can get it done. Like you said, he just would have to not force things and understand and realize that he doesn't have Hill anymore, and just put those guys in the best situations to utilize their strengths and just let them make plays.
Yeah.
I still think Mahomes will be fine, man. I think.
Yeah. I'm going to throw you guys for a loop when I talk about their prediction here, but look at their schedule. It's not easy either. They come out against Arizona. Now D-Hop's out. I think, it's in Arizona. We'll see. I think they're a good team too. You got the Chargers, you got the Colts, you got Tampa Bay, you got the Raiders, Buffalo, and San Francisco. That's a gauntlet. But it's Kansas City, right? So we'll see. If he struggles early, that will be a problem. And I think we will see him miss Tyreek Hill early, but they're going to have to figure out in this stretch because they got a week 8 bye week. After that, it gets a little bit easier. You got Jacksonville, you got Houston down here, but it's still going to be tough because you got Tennessee, You got the Rams coming in. You got the Cincinnati Bengals. Dude, it's a tough schedule. It's a tough schedule.
Yeah, it's a tough schedule. I got the Chiefs at 11-6, but dude, they can go 10-7. They can go 12-5. I think anywhere in that 10 to 12 win range. I honestly, at the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to the Chiefs and the Chargers for the divisional title. So I think it'll be a fun race to watch all year. I think it's a really good division. Some good quarterbacks in this division. I think some better than others, but man, it's going to be fun to watch it unfold.
I give them 10-7. Just like I said, just because their defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Nick Bolton, man. Like he's my talk about defense. He needs to have a big year on defense.
Yeah, their whole defense does. Their captain in the secondary is gone. He was a guy that made a lot of plays. The honey badger. He was around the ball a ton. That's gonna hurt. I'm throwing it for a loop right now, and I'm just gonna call my shot. Speaking of that, we got something coming up for you in a new segment we have, but I got them being third in the division. I think they potentially miss the playoffs. I think it's going to be between Denver and the Chargers for this division. I think Kansas City struggles missing Tyreek Hill, and their schedule is really tough, and their defense, because it's so weak, I think they can't afford to struggle on offense. And I think it could cost them some games early that they might get it together down the line, and Mahomes might start looking like Mahomes. But like last year, they came out the gate and he struggled. And I think if they do that for a longer period of time, which I think is very possible, I think it could really hurt them. And I got them third in the division this year, which I'm shooting my shot there.
Yeah, especially I don't know if you're shooting. What's a bigger shot, the Chiefs finishing third or the Broncos finishing first? I'm gonna go with the latter.
I think the Chargers are gonna. I think the Chargers are gonna win the division. I got the Chargers winning that. All right, boys.
This will be fun to rag the whole season about how your Broncos doing.
Hey, I am not on. I'm just saying. I think they'll make the playoffs. I think the Chargers win the division, though. All right, boys. We got a new segment coming up right here, and
pop quiz, hot shot.
We got every single week. We're going to come at you with somebody we want to recognize, whether it's football, real life, whatever it is. I thought. Give me a second while I get this all set up because
you're cutting out a little bit, man.
I'm not.
Hey,
raw dogging this thing here.
Introduce the segment again, BP, because you were cutting out a little bit.
Okay.
Explain to the people what this is. It's Hot Shot of the Week.
Yeah. Let's do it again. Hot Shot of the Week. So it's our new segment. Hey, I'll play it again. I'm proud of it. That's what you want.
Quiz, hot shot.
Absolutely.
There you go. Sounds better now.
There we go. We got our Hot Shot of the Week. So every week we're going to take a shot, give some recognition to somebody. It could be anything. And my Hot Shot of the Week, let me get all set up here. Get this little salt because I'm not raw dogging this tequila here. My Hot Shot of the Week is Steve Keim for throwing in a little bitty thing in the contract of Kyler Murray that he's got to watch 4 hours of independent study. That's how you're going to protect your organization, Steve. Not by not giving him the $230 million, not by adding in a bedtime, not by making sure he eats his vegetables and gain a little bit taller. Because let's be honest, Kyler Murray, he's pretty short. He's probably the only NFL player that I'm taller than, by the way. So I'm going to take that all day. But Steve Keim, congratulations, buddy. Way to put that in the contract.
Oh, nice. Oh, dang, you had the lime and everything.
He had everything. He was ready.
He was ready to go. This was ready. He was looking forward to this segment for 6 months.
Yeah, the entire time. It's been a while, right? So
it's a good segment, man. I like it. Whoever came up with the name is pretty cool.
I believe that was you, bro. Oh, so I'm taking it over you. Who's your hot shot of the week, there, Drew?
My hot shot of the week, I'm going to change gears a little bit. My hot shot of the week is Houston Texans rookie wide receiver John Mechie. He's been having a rough go of it lately, coming off a torn ACL. He got diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia this week, and it's been announced that he's probably not going to play so he could focus on his mental and physical health. My hot shot of the week, Cheers to you, John Mechie. Best wishes and a speedy recovery, man.
Yeah, get well
Yes,
soon,
sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Ooh, hey, I didn't see that all that go down there.
No,
too.
it didn't. It's Woodford.
I'm just gonna. Nice. All right, Slick, who you got, man? Who's your hot shot of the week?
My hot shot of the week goes to you two and the cast in general for this being our first show of the year or the season, and I just hope it goes long, far down the road, and let's just keep making memories.
I'll finish to that, bro. I'll finish it to that.
That's why. Okay. Hey, that's awesome, Slick. This has been an awesome show. It has been an awesome show. I had a blast. Oh. Hey, do you want a little chaser there, Drew? Or
Guys,
you okay?
You don't chase Woodford. You don't chase Woodford.
I am.
Oh, water.
Oh my god.
High quality H2O.
Hey, what?
Only reason Drew is chest up. He's got that skirt on right now. After not being able to finish the first shot,
I bought it off. I bought it off of Russell Wilson.
Oh man, hell yeah!
Funny story.
Hey,
Can I tell you a funny Russell Wilson story before we go?
I figured there's something.
Yeah,
I figured
it's like 2005, right? 2005 maybe, and I'm a sophomore in high school, and I was a quarterback, and I was pretty good. Had some offers, blah blah blah, and I go down to the University of Virginia, had a prospect camp, like a junior day type thing, and I get put into this group, and it's me, a kid, I think Pat Devlin or something, I forget, and then this kid Russell Wilson, and I shit you not.
Here he comes.
I joke you not. So it's me, Russell Wilson, and this other kid in the group, and I'm 6'2", like I think I'm the crap or whatever. And I see Russell Wilson, dude. He's stacked, but he's short, man. He's like, I don't know, 5'8", 5'9" at the time. I'm like, all right, I got this. I'll probably be the best one in this group. And this kid Russell Wilson, and I'll never forget, he had his little green helmet on with his yellow face mask. And he gets up and he takes like a 5-step drop and throws a 16-yard comeback. And it was the hardest ball I've ever seen thrown in my life. And he had the strongest arm I've ever seen. And I was like, okay, this little kid is going to show me up. Right? I always had a vendetta against Russell Wilson for that reason. That's why you guys are going 7-10, and you're the worst team in the AFC West, bro. So,
I knew it was something.
I knew it was
trying to figure out
something.
why.
Respectful kid, very nice to talk to. It was fun. And that's my Russell Wilson.
Now he's with
story.
Sierra, like just add on to it.
And I'm here with a WWE pillow in my window. Like,
hey,
where would I rather be, bro?
Russell Wilson, when he's my hot shot of the week, bro, he's going to be a hot shot of the week, and that story's coming up. It's coming back.
Does Wilson have this? No, a fantasy football champion.
Hey, did you see him training camp with his own jersey though? Oh, it was kind of weird. Show up in your own jersey to training camp, like not like his jersey that he plays in, but like one that he bought from like Fanatics. That's
whatever.
Hey, we'll be back every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Until next time, guys, dude, we're out, dude. What a great show.